Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
All right. Hey, guys. Welcome back to the show. I'm your host, John Harcar, and I'm here today with Tom Shallcross. And what we're going to talk about is his real estate business, right? How to really grow and target high-end property. Guys, remember, at Investor Fuel, we help real estate investors, service providers, all real estate entrepreneurs 2 to 5x their business. And we do that by providing tools and resources that help build the business that they want to build. And at the end, grow the business or the life they want to grow. So Tom, welcome to our show.
Thanks for having me, John. Excited to be here.
Yeah, I'm super excited to dig in and talk about your journey and your experience. But before we do all that, why don't you kind of just let our audience know a little bit about who you are, how you got here, et cetera.
Sure. My name is Tom Shallcross. I'm from the northwest side of Chicago, born and raised here, and still where we do a lot of our projects. And, I came from a W-2 background. I was working a very good job, got kind of interested in real estate. Investor Fuel member Blake McCrae was very instrumental.
Blake. Okay, cost. Yeah, no, Blake is and Wendy.
Yep.
Awesome,
Blake and Wendy.
Awesome folks. Yeah, I love those guys.
Yeah, so we, that was kind of when I first got started. I was doing some lending for him.
Oh, cool.
And then we were seeing like the profits he was making. I was like, wait a minute, there's something here. Like let's take a look at this. And
sure,
kind of just grew from there. So
okay.
I have 4 kids, so it's a family of 6, and we live off the money I make from flipping houses, and then we look to add to the portfolio every year, just keep growing the long-term holds.
Generational wealth. I love it. Let's go back. What were you doing as a W-2?
It was a sales for an IT company, so kind of a white-collar sales job, which was, pretty lucrative, but it involved traveling. It involved, just weren't in complete control over your schedule. And then, I was kind of doing both. I was doing real estate on the side, buying a building here or there, and I wanted to make the jump full time. Obviously, a lot of obligations, right? So it gets hard to leave that giant paycheck behind.
The comfort,
comfort, and benefits, security, and all the other things, right?
Yeah.
And, when COVID hit and I didn't have to get on a plane anymore, I realized like, oh my god, like I never want to get on a plane unless I'm wearing flip flops and going somewhere, right? Like once that happens, it's like, dude, I'm not doing this anymore. Like you don't realize it till it's taken away. It's like, oh yeah, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's kind of where I really started to transition. Say, all right, well, let's what are the steps that have to happen to do this full time, and started going down that path.
Got it. So have you been in sales your whole life?
Yes.
Okay. What put the bug of real estate in your ear? Like some folks I talk to might have like a uncle or a family member, somebody that was in real estate that they saw and like, hey, that's cool, so I'll start buying rentals. Like, what's your story on how you first said, hey, I'm going to start buying a property?
Yeah, no family connection whatsoever.
Okay.
I did there's a college class I remember that was pretty, it kind of stuck with me like, oh, this seems pretty good, right? Like I'm young, like time is on my side. I actually right out of college, this is '08 when anyone can buy anything. My job was about 50, 60 miles away from my house, my parents' house at the time. And so I ended up just buying a small duplex out there, or a small townhome out there, sorry.
Yeah.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
Right. And it was like, because it was just cheap and it was easy, and it, you know, I think it's
Cheaper
$2,000,
gas.
right? Like, yeah, right. Just you know, quality of life.
Yeah.
And then that ended up, I had, you know, 4 or 5 other guys who did this, like, pretty much moved in. Like, it became like the after college kind of party house. And
Got it.
at a point I was like, wait, I'm not paying the mortgage. Like, this is awesome.
Your house hacked.
Yeah, unintentionally. Didn't know what I was
Unintentional
doing.
house hack. I love it.
So yeah, that kind of got in, and then, you know, work went well. I kept, you know, it was kind of always on the back of my head, but I never really put any thought into it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I synced up back with Blake, and like I said, I did some lending for him, and
Okay.
you know, started to see what profits were. Started to ask a little more questions and wanted to get more active, and then just kind of ran with it from there.
Got it. Were you buying now? I know we talked before on here that, you know, you do a little bit more of the higher asset class. Did you start off with the lower stuff and kind of work up, or did you jump right in? How did you get into? Because you mentioned you do higher end.
Oh yeah, no, I started the exact opposite. Started in the wild hundreds on the south side here. You know,
Yeah.
buying stuff for $40K, putting 40 into it, and, you know, appraising out at 140 or whatever it was, right? Like, just very low barrier to entry type of assets, much different than what we do today.
Yeah, and there are a lot of folks that listen to us that, you know, that might be kind of new in the game. Tell a little bit about maybe, you know, when you got started. After you got the bug, you got that one, you started to buy stuff, you started to get more into it. What are some of the challenges or struggles you had starting out?
Yeah, so for me, like, one of the benefits I had was I had a good white collar job, right? So, like, I had some liquidity. I was, you know, if a project were to go bad, it wouldn't destroy me, right? So I could take some swings, and that's what I did.
Right.
So I think it's very contextual to who you are and what your situation is and what you're trying to accomplish.
Yeah.
So, but for me personally, you know, it was finding out, what am I actually good at, right? And I was able to partner my partner to this day, Chris Clancy. He's a phenomenal general contractor. You know, we figured out very quickly that we are good. The bigger the rehab, the more competitive we are, right? Like, you know, so that you can't do giant rehabs when something's only going to ARV out at $200K, right?
Yeah.
So we started looking up here on the north side, you know, and, you know, a typical project now, like, you know, the rehabs we have going on, they're 500, 700, 800K type of just full on guts that take, you know, 9 to 12 months to do.
Mm-hmm. What's from when you started off? Right, you started off flipping. I mean, I'm sure you weren't a professional just right off the bat or all that type of stuff. What's one of the horror stories you had? Like, what's one of the biggest kind of like learning that really put the learning into learning?
Yeah, I mean, we got a couple, and, you know, when we start on the south side, you get the break-ins, you get the squatters, you get they're stealing your copper, they're, you know, all just the BS that you don't want to deal with. You know, so a lot, you know, not some like holy crap type of moment, but I think like just a lot of those, and the mental anxiety of it too, right? Of just the sleepless night, not knowing if your property's secured, like, you know, just a bunch of garbage, right? Like those, no giant incident though. Like, I haven't had, like, you know, gun pulled on me or anything crazy like that.
Right. Okay. So then so did that just kind of wear on you, and you're like, man, I need to jump up to something nicer so I can sleep a little bit more?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm from the north side. I have a partner who's very good at these full gut rehabs, right? Like, he's done it, and, you know, so we need to be in a position where the ARVs can justify doing these rehabs.
Sure.
I'm from the north side. I know neighborhoods here, right? And like just the BS aspect of it is much lower, right?
Right.
Like, so there's also like what I would call like an unofficial barrier to entry, right? It's hard for someone to go in and, you know, anyone can buy that property for 40 grand and do a cosmetic rehab, right? Like anyone can do that. So like,
sure,
where can you differentiate? Where can you niche out? And we started doing it and just kind of ran with it from there.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency. It's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
Okay. What are some of the pros and cons versus your easier, lower stuff? I mean, we know what some of the cons are. I guess what are maybe some of the pros that you see from moving up?
Yeah, I mean, there's everything is bigger, right? So your opportunity to lose is higher, but your opportunity to gain is also higher, right? These things can be very profitable when they work in your favor. You're dealing with a clientele a lot of times that they don't really care if rates are going up, right?
Yeah.
A lot of these people are borderline FU money, right? For the people you're selling to. So it's like
sure, yeah,
everything you wake up and scared about, you're not dealing with someone who's like nickel and diming you over every 2 cents.
Paycheck to paycheck and stuff. Yeah, you're not dealing with those.
Yeah, no. On the flip side, they are wanting everything to be perfect, right?
Yeah.
There's very high maintenance, and that punch list is usually kind of like, dude, are you serious? Like, what? Okay, yes, ma'am. Let's get it done so we get to the finish line. Some other pros on it, I would say, is, in Chicago, like if you're gonna go through the actual permitting system, like it's a bear, like, and the price of it's pretty much the same regardless of how big the project is. So like, you can make the same amount of money going through that process and going through just all the BS of getting a project off the ground, 5 times compared to 15 times.
Yeah. Got it. Okay. So now you mentioned your partner, right? Your partner is a general contractor.
Yep.
Okay. So he does obviously the work. Are you doing the acquisitions and basically running that part of the business?
Yeah. So my main, acquisitions, all the relationships with brokers. I leverage Deal Machine to send out mailers. We are out there, getting in front, getting to the at-bats, right? Getting the at-bats, putting funding in order, and putting the actual deal together to make sure, does this thing pencil? What are our outs? What's our worst case and best case scenario? Looking at the floor and ceiling. So a lot of the way I would describe it is, before we start construction, I'm heavily involved, and then once we get our permit approved and we start, it flips 180 where it's mostly him.
And you're lining up the next one.
Yeah, and then once we get to disposition, it kind of circles back to me, and then and then the cycle continues.
Is it just you guys? I mean, do you have other folks on your team?
No. So I've had VAs to make phone calls and to do data scrubbing for me. I've had like fractional bookkeepers, people I've hired for the summer just to help out with some of the stuff. But no, it's just us rocking and rolling. We're pretty slim. We do a lot without employees.
Okay, awesome. You mentioned you Deal Machine, and tell folks that don't know what Deal Machine is what it is.
Yeah, I'll give them a plug. I don't even know anyone over there, so they'll get a free plug out of this. I forgot where I got introduced to it from. It might have actually been Blake. Someone introduced me to it, and it's great. You can do all your data scrubbing there, so you can pull the list of whatever you want. Absentee owners in this area. Like, you can pull all the list like you would with a lot of these other products out there. But I think what's different is a couple things. One, you can set up sequences. So like, hey, I want this to get mailed every, whatever, 5 weeks, blah, blah, blah. And the mailer will have their property on it, right? It'll have it's just an attention grabber that you can customize. So then on top of like doing your set list, if you're just driving from one project to another, you see a property that looks like, oh my God, this thing, no one lives here. This thing's distressed in an area where there's really not distressed properties. Right there, you can pull over, click on it, and just hit start mailer, and then they're in the sequence.
Okay. So that's the tool you use to do all your marketing.
Yep. So within like 10 seconds, they're getting mails from you now, right? And
got it.
It's pretty slick.
Are you only doing mailers? I mean, I know you said you had people making calls or whatever. I mean, did you just kind of put all that aside and say, hey, I'm just going to mail, or do you still do like text? Do you do any type of SEO?
No, we don't do any SEO because our area is so specific. Right? If we were doing all of Chicagoland, that would make a lot more sense. But we're so niched in this little area. It's much more brokers, wholesalers. We really focus on those relationships. anyone, even though like I'm licensed, if a broker brings us something.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
We'll let them list it then on the back end.
Right.
Like we heavily entice them to make sure that we are the first call when they know, like, hey, someone in my office said that this is coming. Like, do you want the first crack at it? So we want to make sure that we're top of mind there. We have a podcast here in Chicago that, we really focus on the locality. So we get, that unintentionally becomes kind of a deal magnet for us as well. And it's just a lot of different ways. I don't have some set, we just spend this amount and this much comes through the door. Like sometimes it's everything hitting at once. And sometimes like, man, we need a deal right now.
Yeah, no, I got it. So are you also buying? Are you buying from any other wholesalers or people that come out and try to bring deals to you?
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Very cool. What's kind of volume you guys doing?
So we'll do like this year. We'll deliver 4 projects. We will have like 6 or 7 going. There's some that'll carry into next year. These projects are 9 to 12 months, right?
Okay.
Like these projects are, like I said, it's a 500K rehab and 800K rehab. Like they're a commitment. So this is about as much as we can do. We delivered, we finished, a full gut of a 6-unit building to hold, and the other ones are all flips that we'll be delivering.
Okay. Are you using private money, hard money, your money?
Yeah, all the above. So we got a local partner here, Renovo. I'll give them a shout out. They're awesome.
Awesome.
They're great to work with, and the more you do with them, it's like getting like hotel points. Like the more you do with them, like the better they treat you, and just
sure.
Very, very flexible, very, owe a lot of the scaling to them. I have private investors, I have my own funds, and it's usually just kind of a hodgepodge of what makes the most sense.
When what is some maybe advice, like if someone was going out and they're trying to go out looking for funds and looking for money, right? Maybe they want to get into that high end stuff. I mean, what is some advice you would give them, or maybe mistakes that you made when you started doing that could help people out?
Yeah, the mistakes I'd say is like it's human nature. You're gonna initially underestimate things. We still do it to this day, right? Even just the holding cost on this. If you just sit down with someone and break down, this is your holding cost for 12 months.
Yeah.
Right? Where's the money for that coming from?
Right.
This thing goes $50K over budget. Where's the money for that coming from? Like the amount of liquidity needed to get these things to the finish line is usually, if you just ask someone at a meetup, what do you think the liquidity is to get this done? They'll undershoot it, right? It's always more than that. So
right.
I think being well set up there, and then going back to the earlier part of the question, like if they are looking to go out there and do this, like they have to have some sort of proof of concept, whether that be partnering with someone who's done it before, some success doing smaller type deals. Like if you're going to take someone else's money, like they can't be your guinea pig. Like you have had to have done this multiple times. Like it's kind of a chicken and egg, but you got to have some proof there. One, for them to believe in. Two, like you can't F it up, right? You have to deliver. So, I would take it very seriously and just, do whatever you can before you ask for money, because you have to be prepared. That project has to go well. There's no other way.
So are you like every time you go to a lender, bringing like a portfolio of, hey, these are all the things I've done, show you kind of all my wins?
Yeah, a lot of it is, it's a lot of it's friends and family. Like we don't, I don't have to go out there and say like, hey, like we're looking to raise, like here, come see how great we are. A lot of it is,
right.
I don't want to say it's easy, but like we've been doing it now for 7-8 years with some of these people. It's a text message of, hey, this is coming. Are you interested?
Right.
And they'll say yes or no, like we have our funds tied up or whatever, and then you just move on to the next one. But to originally get in that game, I think, yes, that's probably the right way to do it. Just let people know what you're doing. If you have a successful, even if it's a small flip, like let the world know that. So when that time comes, it could be 2 years from now, 4 years from now. Real estate's sexy, man. People want to be a part of it.
They do.
People want to be a part of it. They don't want to do the work.
I 100% agree on that.
Yeah, and they don't want to be the one doing the work. So like there is a lot of opportunity as long as you can provide the value they're looking for.
So same question, like the advice and mistakes on making that move up to higher end.
Yeah, I'd say like this is something we kind of fell into. I think, there's a Gary Keller quote, success is doing the right things, not everything.
Mm.
Right. And so this just happened to be the right thing that we were very good at. And so we just went 100% in on it. Right.
Nice.
And, you work hard, but you're working hard at a specific goal. You know, for some people that might be wholesaling, right? It might be doing, these smaller flips in CD areas. Like that might be what they're very good at and they have the stomach for it, right?
Yeah.
Again, it's contextual, but I think you need to figure out like, all right, where am I good? Like where do I have an advantage here? Like if this is a basketball analogy, like if you're 6'8", like you're not going to sit there shooting 3-pointers. You're going to go work on rebounding. Like just it's how it works. Like you have an advantage.
It's a good analogy. I love it.
So
what maybe things two people need to look at when they're making that transition to bigger rehabs?
Yeah, man, I would definitely say get with people who have done it before. Like you're always gonna, if you're making a list of things, like if you're going to the grocery store, like the list is never gonna have too many things on it. And like, oh, I actually don't need this. Like the list is gonna have what you think you need, and then it's gonna have, oh yeah, and we need X, Y, Z. Like it's human nature. You're almost always gonna undershoot it. Going back to like what we said with liquidity. So like, you're always gonna have these things that are you're just not used to. Even like in Chicago, like the permitting process is pretty funky here, right? And getting through your roughs, like it's, just knowing that process and knowing what they're expecting and not having the project held up because, if you're borrowing money, a 4-week delay, it's kind of a big deal, right? Like that's, I just lost 10 grand for nothing. Sweet. Like not awesome. So I think just, I would go through the process with someone who's done it before, because there's so many ways these things can fail. Like when a wholesaler brings us something and they'll be like, oh, why can't you come up on your offer? Like you're making so much on this. And it's like, dude, we have to.
Like we don't know if we're making that much.
Yeah, on on a spreadsheet I am. Like, but like in reality,
great.
In reality, like, dude, like the price drops on these things are $50K. Like, if you go up there and like, all right, we're gonna sell at 1.9, like the price, if it doesn't move the first couple of weeks, the price drop is to 185. Like, 50 grand just gone.
It's not like $5,000 off. It doesn't work.
There's just so many. There's so many variables. That, like you have to. You're not being greedy. You just have to go in with all these. It's got to be healthy on the front end because these things will happen to you.
Yeah. So you make money on the buy.
Yeah, like you got to come in with that ability to. You got to come in knowing like, all right, like this is my floor, right? Like this is X, Y, and Z can happen to me, and I can still walk out of this thing all right.
Yeah. You got to plan for the worst. Where do you see your business going, man? I mean, it sounds like you're doing fantastic, up doing high end stuff. I mean, do you have a line of growth that you're looking to go and hit? Are you kind of maybe looking to expand? I mean, what's your plans?
We like the path we're on here. And I've been part of some. I've been part of some larger deals, like buying the 40-unit type courtyard buildings. I'm one of the quote unquote GPs on it. I still like the idea of buying my own 6-unit, 8-unit, 4-unit building. Like when they're that small, you have more control. You get to rip out the boiler. You can completely gut these things and make them awesome. And you own 100% of it or 50% of it, as opposed to owning 6% or whatever it is on these bigger deals. So I don't have this grand scheme of like, all right, I'm going to start buying bigger buildings. I think what we are doing, we just need to do it better and do it more, right? Like just get better at what we're doing and continue down that path. And it's a long game, right? You wake up one day and it's like, all right, all those 6 units added up and they're, now they're paid off, they're paid down, whatever. Like, just look at it as a 20-year horizon. Yeah, no, and I love that. If folks want to talk to you a little bit more about kind of what you're doing and maybe how you made that transition to higher end stuff, how do they get out? How do they get in touch with you? Sure. So I'll give the quick plug. Our local podcast here is Straight Up Chicago Investor. We focus specifically just in Chicago, right? Just so if you're investing in this area, it's very, very valuable information. You can find me there. I'll throw out, I could give you my contact to put in the notes or whatever the best way to do that. But happy to have a convo with anyone looking to do something along these lines.
Yeah, I'll put all your contact information in there. And guys, I hope you enjoyed the conversation today in the podcast. I mean, you got some good nuggets in there. I like the fact that you found your niche, right? A lot of people bounce around at different things. You have your niche, you're running with it, and it's successful. And to me, that's awesome. So congratulations on your success, man.
Thank you. No, appreciate you having me, John.
Yeah, I appreciate being on the show. And guys, if you need to reach out or want to reach out and pick his brain on stuff, give him a call, hit him on social media, however. But hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and we'll see you on the next one. Cheers.
Thanks.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.